Hello and welcome back to session 3 of addition and subtraction. So today we're going to be using our skills of addition and subtraction and apply them to problem solving. To start us off, we're just going to have a look at some missing number calculations. In your pack of the addition and subtraction pack, there's a sheet that's called Fill the Gaps, and it has a number of different missing number calculations to solve. If we just have a look at a couple of the examples together. So if I have got a calculation like this, 7 add something equals 15, I can use the inverse or the opposite operation to addition to solve the problem. So can you remember what the opposite to add is? Yes, that's right, it's subtraction. So I can actually start with my answer and I can take away the 7 to find the missing number. So my calculation would then look like this: 15 take away 7 equals. Now you can use a number line, you could use buttons, you could use the 100 square, or you can use your fingers, or you can even calculate the answer mentally. So I make the answer to that 8. Now if we thought about it in our fact family triangle, the number at the top of the triangle is always the largest number, so 15 would be at the top. And down at the bottom corners of the triangle, we would have the 7 and the 8. And it all begins to make sense because 7 add 8, which is what we worked out, make 15. But we also know that 15 take away 7 equals 8, and that's what we use to help us to solve the calculation. But we also could work out that 15 take away 8 makes 7. So missing number problems link together with our fact family triangles. Okay, the calculation below is a little bit different because although I've said we use the opposite operation to solve missing numbers, that doesn't actually work for a subtraction calculation where the missing number is in the middle. But I could look at it like a fact family triangle. With a subtraction calculation, your largest number is always going to be the number at the beginning. So I can put that at the top of my fact family triangle. And number 12 can go in one of the bottom corners of my fact family triangle. And so this number is the one that we're trying to find out. So in order to find this number out, we would have to do 19 take away 12 to get the answer here. So that's what we're going to do: 19 take away 12 to find the answer that is missing. Again, you could use a number line, you could use your 100 square, or you can use your fingers, or you can calculate it mentally. I've worked out the answer to be number 7. Why don't you check that I'm correct? Okay, there are a couple more examples on the sheet where the missing number is somewhere different. Let's have a look at the other types of missing number questions on the sheet, and then I think you'll be ready to have a go. So another type of calculation is where the missing number is at the beginning, but it's an adding calculation. So something add 5 equals 12. Something add 5 equals 12. Now if I think about it in terms of my fact family triangle, then 12 is the largest number because the answer to an addition calculation is always the largest number. So that would go at the top of my fact family triangle. 5 would go in this bottom corner. And so to find the missing number, I would need to do 12 take away 5 to find the answer. So 12 take away 5 to find the answer. And actually, if you are going in the opposite direction and doing the inverse operation, the opposite of adding is taking away. So 12 take away 5, again I make the answer 7. Why don't you check again whether I'm right? The last type of question on that fill the gap sheet is where you have the missing number for a subtraction calculation at the beginning. So it could be something take away 4 equals 10. Now actually this does work, this does follow the rule that actually what you could do is you can do 10 add 4 equals the answer. So I could do 10, the opposite of taking away is adding, 10 add 4 equals 14. Just like that. So the answer 14 goes in the gap. And if I think of my fact family triangle, the answer here is, well, it's a subtraction calculation, so the biggest number is 14. I have 4 on this side and 10 on this side. And actually 4 add 10 equals 14. 14 take away 4 equals 10. And 14 take away 10 equals 4. Okay, I know I've kind of talked through a lot there, but have a go at this sheet and see how you get on. Now, moving on to the focus of today, which is problem solving. You're all amazing at addition and subtraction, so applying it to problem solving is the next step. And what we find there is how you interpret the question. That's what everyone finds tricky. I have a couple of questions here that I've just put together. So have a look at the first one. Now it says Samuel and Georgia are playing a game. Samuel scores 38 and Georgia scores 29. How many points do they score all together? So the first thing you do when you're faced with a number problem is you read the problem carefully, and I would read it a couple of times. Then you need to highlight the important information. So I would find the numbers. So I'd read it again. Samuel and Georgia are playing a game. Samuel scores 38 and Georgia scores 29. So I've made sure I've found the numbers involved in the calculation. How many points do they score all together? So all together is the important word there. And if I'm finding out how many points all together, that's the clue that I need to add. So I'm going to formulate my calculation. Samuel scored 38 and Georgia scored 29. So all together I need to add them together. Now to do this you can use your skills that you practiced on Monday. You can calculate the 2-digit add 2-digit number sentence. First of all by partitioning the second number. So I have 2 10s, 20 and 9 1s. So I can bring the number 38 down the board and I can add on the 10s. Okay, so 38, I'm adding on 2 10s, 38, 48, 58. I take the number 58 down and then I need to add on the 9 1s. So I'm going to add on 9 1s. So I'm going to start with 58 in my head, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. So I make the answer 67. So the answer to the question, how many points do they score altogether? They score 67 points altogether. 67. Okay, I've got another question that we'll have a look at together. So this time this question says, in another game Georgia scores 56 and Samuel scores 32. How many more points does Georgia score? So again, I'm going to read it and I'm going to circle the numbers. In another game, Georgia scores 56 and Samuel scores 32. But this time it's asking me, how many more points does Georgia score? So to find how many more, I'm finding the difference. And a find the difference sum is a subtraction sum. So I'm going to formulate my question. So when I'm doing a subtraction sum, I always start with the biggest number. So I know that I'm going to put 56 first, and I'm going to take away 32. Now, just like we did in session 2, the subtraction, the 2-digit take away a 2-digit calculation, I'm going to partition the second number. So 30, because I've got 3 tens and 2. 32 can be partitioned into 30 and 2. And then I'm going to take 56 down and take away the tens. I'm going to take away the 30. So I'm going to have 56 in my head, and I'm going to take away 3 tens, 56, 46, 36, 26. So the answer to the first part of my calculation is 26. Then I'm going to take the 26 down, and I'm going to take away the 2 ones. So 26, take away 2 ones, 26, 25, 24. Now, of course, you can use your 100 square to help you calculate those answers. That might be easier. But I found the answer to this question, how many more points does Georgia score, to be 24. So how many more points does Georgia score? And the answer would be 24 points. Okay, in the pack, the addition and subtraction pack, there's a page with word problems on. That's page 2. If you've already completed those, or if you'd like an extra challenge, then also there for you to download, there's an addition and subtraction 2-step word problem sheet. You really need to read the questions carefully because there might be 2 calculations you need to do for every single question. If you'd like a little bit more consolidation, there's an additional sheet called addition problems, which just works with simple numbers. Or if you'd like to practice missing number calculations, I've come across, well, page 9 of your pack have these missing number calculations on. And I quite like this sheet because the answer is always going to be 20. So let me show you how you could go about this if you would feel happier. Okay, I have got myself 20 buttons. Doesn't have to be buttons. You might have marbles, you might have counters at home, but I have 20 buttons. Okay, now what I can see from the calculation is that I have 6 add 7 add something equals 20. So I've got my buttons here, I know there are 20 buttons. If I put 6 into one group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I put 7 into the second group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then I can count up how many I've got left, and that will be my missing number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know the missing number is 7, and I can pop that in the box. You could use your head to calculate the answers, or you can find something that will help you when calculating the answers. Okay, good luck with today's session, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week.